Folks, how's it going? Jimmy Morrow down at Dreadnought Forge again. How's it going? Just thought I'd do a wee video just to see how, let everybody know what's going on down here, what I'm working on at the moment, and I've got a wee tip that I've started using that I think I haven't seen anybody else talk about, so I thought I might as well have a chat about it now. At the moment I'm working through some batch of blades here. They're carbon steel. I'm waiting for the stainless ones. I know some of you guys are waiting for orders coming back, but I'm waiting for the stainless steel to come back from the heat treat guys. So I'm working away at the moment with these carbon steel. These wee ones, they're 01 steel, and I've got the stage where I've got the bevels ground in, they're polished up, and they're ready to start looking at handle scales. Now for this one, I've got some stabilized bow cut. I've got a nice wee G10 liner in here. The wee feature I like to put in when I'm using wood, natural materials, just if there is any swelling, any movement, it kind of, well, it's said to give a bit of protection against it coming away from the steel. So got that glued up, got it attached at this stage. The wee scale, it's as parallel as I can make it, as flat as I can make it. So I get to the stage now where I'm starting to put in some pinholes. So I can attach it to the blade in a couple of wee steps here. Wee step, I've seen guys making folders, especially when they're drilling holes for liners, working with steel and brass liners to make sure that they get the holes aligned so the pins go through straight. They'll cut the liners out and they will glue them together with super glue, and then drill their holes just to make sure they're going through in the same spot and they're spaced evenly around. Now, this is you know, there's no kind of like genius to this, but I thought I'd give it a wee go. It's just a spot. It's almost like a spot weld when you're welding. It's just like a spot of glue. 2, 3, 4, 5. Just like that there, just some wee spots. Literally a spot of super glue around the tang. Now, I am doing this at a stage where I've polished up the blade and it is ready. It's as polished as I want it to be. You know, it'll do a buff when the knife's complete kind of thing, but all my grinding lines are out. Now the tang, I've polished it somewhat, but there's still scale at the back of this stage. So it's not, I haven't finished working on it. And addition of glue, I'm gonna have to, like, when it's dry, when I finish this stage, I'm gonna have to come back and basically polish out the tang part, and I'm going to have to rough it up before attaching the scale anyway. So attaching the super glue, just letting it dry here, just placing the blade on the material itself. I've had problems in the past where I'm trying to get lined up, and you know, you're on the plot and you're trying to drill, and after the first hole I've put my locator pin in, but maybe it's moved a wee touch, and it's the tang's moved to a bit where actually there's a bit sticking off the end. I haven't noticed, and all of a sudden your holes are in a position where all of a sudden it doesn't cover the tang. That scale scrap. You have to start again. I have to start right back to start, cutting the scale out, getting it parallel, getting it flat, sticking the liner on. That can take, you know, a few hours, just because I'm slow. But that can take a few hours, and it's not what you need when you're trying to get a few finished up and get on to the next stage. So just letting this kind of bed in. Now just those few wee spots of super glue. I'm not trying to attach the scale at this point, I'm just trying to secure it, give it a wee bit more purchase on the scale while I'm drilling it, so it'll not move around with the force of the drill or any vibrations on the drill. So let it touch here, go over to my drill. Now, drilled a 4mm hole, bang on 4mm with a drill bit in the drill. Use another drill bit the same, just as a locator pin. just to keep it from moving around. Again, not trusting the super glue to hold it tight, just at alone to hold it tight, but using the locator pin as well to drill the next hole, change the bit over, drill the 8mm hole. Now this wee method you do have to do, it does take some fiddling around, drilling the holes, changing the bits, but it's worth it. It stays where it wants to be. Now that's okay. Sometimes this isn't as big a problem if it's just a simple scale where I haven't tapered the tang. It's lying flat. It's not as big a problem. Now I've run into a wee problem with this. This maybe comes in more. I've been trying to get a bit of a jig going for some tapered tangs. You can see some of the projects here. I'll just put a wee taper, slight taper in the tang, and it's not lying flat on the material, or at least you're trying to get the holes parallel and straight in the material in the tang, where it's actually tapering towards the back here. Now I'm getting the wee jig up and going, and I'll maybe show you that when I've got it perfected and I've got it working where it's useful. But I've run into this problem more with trying to use that wee jig than this. But this is I find that this works well with this aspect of the process. Again, we don't want to leave this too long. I'm not leaving this for hours. As soon as I get the holes drilled, it'll come off with just a small twist. Now you don't want to leave it to set long term, or else you don't want to start pulling liners off and causing real problems then. But if you get the job done, get it away, it'll come off without any problem. If you do find that it's got stuck, then you can do, I've seen it with the guys with the folders, application of heat onto the steel will denature the super glue. But you have to be very careful because it's getting up around heat, it's up around 100, and you're not affecting the temper until you're a wee bit further on up than that. But you don't want to be overheating this blade at this point, because you've got where the temper where you want it. You got as hard as you want it, and you don't want to go. You want to be very careful at this stage. But if 10 minutes, it'll just like twist off, and it'll not. I haven't found a problem where it's like damaging the scale. I'm going to have to refinish it anyway, get it nice and flat, but that's not a problem at this stage. That's okay. Next stage is the process of using these loveless bolts. I love these bolts. You see, most of my work I've got these bolts. So I've got some big projects over here I'm just going to use pins on, but I do like these bolts just because it draws material together onto the steel. And they're pretty foolproof as long when you get your methods sorted out. Sometimes it's a wee bit difficult just getting like your process sorted out, where you're drilling the holes in a nice straight line, the right size. So when you come to glue up, you're not trying the 0.1 of a mil. I over drill. Like these are 8mm bolts at the end, and some materials, especially micarta, I find you can drill an 8mm hole. But when you come to put your 8mm bolt into it, it's too small. So stab it up 8.1, it'll go in okay, and there'll not be a nasty gap there when you're coming to attach everything. So that's where I'm at the moment. At the moment, yeah, just working these carbon steel blades. When I get them up and going, a few days, I'll have the handles shaped, and you'll be able to see what I've been working at. In the meantime, waiting for the stainless ones to come back, get working at those, get the bevels ground in, and those projects to get progressed. We had a forge day yesterday. You might have seen the picture. James came down and we got the forge lit, and we got out and we're hammering away at the steel. It was good crack. Really nice day. I have to bring the forge outside. I don't have a flue indoors here, so I have to bring it outside when it's dry and work that way. And it was pretty cool. Like so, I was making a wee bowie here. Basically, I've only got this the blade kind of like forged out. I was letting James free rein at the forge because I can bring it out anytime I need to, kind of thing. So I only got a wee bit done with this. So I do like this shape, like so. I'll get it tidied up, get the handle underway, and then I'll see how that turns out. Other than that, the next few weeks, it's just battering away at the projects. You guys waiting on jobs to come through. Your projects to get completed. Keep an eye on here. Let you see progress, see how things are getting on. Until then, it's a wee short video, 10 minutes, still long enough, but thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you later on. Thanks very much.